Hi everyone, welcome back. So in this lecture we are continuing with our vector series. So now we'll be looking at multiplying vectors. What we did in the last lecture is we subtracted vectors that are not perpendicular to one another. And then the video before that we actually added vectors that are not perpendicular to one another. And now we'll continue and then we'll just do the multiplication of vectors. Now we've done one multiplication already whereby you're multiplying a scalar. My writing is bad. And you're multiplying a scalar by a vector by a scalar, not a scalar by a vector. Anyway, it's fine because you're multiplying. In this case, it's going to be the same thing, right? Or the other way around, you can say multiplying a vector by a scalar. I think that's the more appropriate way to say it. Now another one is what happens if you multiply a vector by a vector. Alright? Turns out for this one, there are two methods, right? One method is gonna give you a scalar. And this method is called a dot product or scalar product. Now you've seen something similar. For this one, you'll see once we start doing it. Then the other one is called the cross product. This one is a little bit tricky, especially when it comes to finding direction. Students sometimes find it a little bit tricky, right? Now on this one, you get a vector out, right? Then on this one, when you multiply a scalar, remember a scalar we just said it's a number, right? Just said it's a number. So this one, the answer is a vector. This one, the answer is a scalar. This one, the answer is a vector, right? So it just depends. So in this video, we are going to discuss the scalar product or the dot product. All right. Otherwise, if you're joining us for the first time, before I continue, please do subscribe. Would appreciate that. And then also do like the video if you like the video. Comment as well and tell us what you would like us to cover. And then I can just prepare that and then I'll cover that. And then also you can just, if you want to get notified whenever we post a video, you can just make sure you click the bell after subscribing, and then you're going to get our notifications. All right, so let's just look at what is this dot product. All right, so suppose I have two vectors. I have vector A, and I have another vector. Let's call this vector B. Okay, and between these two vectors there's an angle theta. All right, try and take the smallest angle. Don't take this big angle here. Try and take the smallest angle. All right, should get more or less the same. You should get the same answers. Sorry. Okay, so so if you do that, the dot product is written like this. You say A dot with B, and that would be the magnitude of A multiplied by the magnitude of B cos of whatever the angle is between the two vectors. Another way you can write this using the method that I've just using the notation that I've been showing you can just say it's AB cos of theta. Remember I said if I don't put any vector on top, it means that this is the magnitude, so you could do it that. So both ways basically mean the same thing. I don't know why I'm saying both so many times. All right, it's fine. So I need to find the magnitude of A, find the magnitude of B, and then I'll get that. Right. So let me say hypothetically, I have A has the magnitude of let me say A has a magnitude of 40, let's say meters, and then B has 50 meters. All right, and then theta, let's just give theta some value, and then theta is something else. Okay, so let's just say theta is going to be 38 degrees. All right, so if I was to find the dot product of that, it would just be 40, which is the magnitude of A, 50, the magnitude of B, cos of 38 degrees. Okay, then you just multiply these two, and then it will be 40 multiplied by 50, and then the cos of 38, and then this is actually 1576. Now, since this is meters multiplied by meters, this is going to be meter squared, so it's just a number like this. All right, so this is what the dot product of A and B is. All right, now another thing that you should notice is that when you do it like this, it's gonna be the same also if you dot B by A, so it doesn't matter the order, right? You're gonna get the same answer, and this is because this one on the left is going to be A, B cos of theta. This one on the right is going to be B, A cos of theta. But then this one on the right, I mean, I can simply take A this side, B this side, cos of theta, which is the same as the right hand side, which is A cos of theta. So you can see that the left hand side is the same as the right hand side. So that's why we're saying that these two are actually equal. Alright, so that's something that you should note when it comes to the dot product. Alright, so let's just do an example where it's a little bit more complicated than this example. Alright, so let me just say I'll give you vector A, and I say vector A is 3 in the x direction, plus 4 in the y direction, and then I say vector B is now going to be 5 in the x direction, and then minus 8 in the y direction. Alright, so let's see how this thing actually looks like. If I was to draw this thing, so the first one is going to be,3x, 1, 2, 3, there's 3, and then on the y is going to be 4 on the y, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll have a vector that is going to meet somewhere here, then that's my vector, and that's my vector A, right? So this is my vector A, right? So the angle from here to here, I'll call it alpha. Now let's do the second vector. The second vector is going to be 1, 2, it is 5 on the x, so 3, 4, 5 on the x. On the y is minus 8, so it's going to be minus here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Okay, so you can draw that, so your vector is going to meet somewhere here. So it's always good to visualize this thing. Let's call this angle phi. Alright, okay, now I have these two angles here. Now what is going to happen? I need to find the magnitude of A here, right? So if I was to find the magnitude of A, because remember, now if I was to say to you, find me A dot with B, that would be A, B cos of theta, theta being the angle between the two vectors. I'm gonna go into that afterwards, and you're gonna understand. Right, so I need to find myself the magnitude of A. So I'll say that A is going to be the square root of the value on the x, which is 3 squared, the value on the y, which is 4 squared, and then this is going to be 5, right? It should be 5, whatever. So what you could do is you could say this is meters, it's just so that we have units, right? So this is 5 meters, right? And then after this, don't want everything to disappear from your screen, so just keep trying to make space as much as I can. And then B is going to be equal to this 5 squared plus, it doesn't matter whether you put minus 8 or 8, but just for the sake of not confusing people, I'll put minus 8 squared, right? This minus 8 here, right, squared. But even if you put 8 squared, it's going to give you this answer, right? So when you do that on your calculator, it's going to be 5 squared plus minus 8 squared must put this in the bracket so that it doesn't affect the answer. It's 9.4. Okay, so that's what I have. Now let us try and compute everything, but before we compute, let us try and get something here. But just to make sure why am I doing that, you need to understand. So let me try and do this, decrease the screen a bit. Okay, now that I've decreased things, it should be better, I think. Should have more space now. All right. So the dot product for A and B is going to be given by A, B cos of theta. Now the issue is, what is this theta? Right, theta is the vector between the two, which is I have this vector A, and then I have this vector B. But then I want the angle between the two vectors, which is going to be theta. But if you look at it, theta is made up of this vector alpha plus phi, right? So you have A, and A has an angle alpha, and then you have B, and B has an angle phi. So these two vectors, they actually make up theta, the blue line. So right, so it turns out that theta is going to be alpha plus phi. Alright, so I need to find out what is alpha, I need to find out what is this phi. Alright, so that is not difficult, because if I look at my sketch, if I draw a line from here, it's 1, 2, 3, so it's 3, then here it's 1, 2, 3, 4, then it's 4, so it's 4 here, then it's 3 here. Alright, so if I can then say tan of alpha is going to be 4 over 3, which means that alpha is going to be 10 4 over 3, 53.1. 53.1 degrees. Alright, and then let me just take it up on this side. I don't know. I'm just trying to preserve space and also try and have this showing on your screen as much as possible. Alright, and then this is going to be the tan of something for phi. What is phi? So let me use a red pen for phi. I'm going to draw a line from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this line is 5 units long. Going down, it is 8 units long. Right, I know it's minus 8, but I'll just put 8. Right, I'm not gonna put the positive or the negative. I know where it is. Alright, so this is going to be that, and then this is actually 8, because 8 is opposite 5 divided by 5. Don't have to put the negative, don't put the negative. Just do it the way I'm doing it. Put everything as positive. And then when you are configuring everything, you're going to understand what you're doing. Alright. Okay, and then this is going to be, sorry, second function 10, 8 divided by 5. This is 58 degrees. Alright, so I have this, so which means that my theta is going to be 53. I'll just leave it at 53. That's 58 degrees. This is should be 100 plus 3 is 11. Okay. Alright. Now I have the theta. I have what is theta. I have what is A. I have what is B. It's easy now to calculate. So now my A dotted with B is going to be A. B cos of theta. And then A is 5. This is 9.4. And then this is cos of 111 degrees. And then you do this, and then you should be negative because cos is going to be negative. It's greater than 90. All right, that is less than 120. Yeah, it's less than 120. All right, so this is that. Okay, so I get a negative number, so that's good. 6.8. Now it's going to be meter squared because this is meter multiplied by meter. All right, so that's what your dot product is. Okay, so I think for this video this is fine. This is enough. I can still do other ways. I don't want to complicate this video, so I'll just leave it here. If you want me to do other ways, or you've been asked and then you want me to assist you with that, it's fine. Just leave a comment, and then when I check your comments, and then I'll know what you want me to do, and then I'll just do that. All right, otherwise, cheers guys.